another video. Hey YouTube, coming back with another video. It's your girl Tomboy D. Today's topic is USPS hiring process. I saw at my last two videos of the post office that I got a lot of views, so I'm gonna keep continuing making post office videos and because you guys wanted information. So this topic I'm gonna talk about hiring process. I was hired as a holiday clerk assistant for the holidays, PSC, distribution, PSC processing, mail clerk, mail handler. The thing with CCA is I was offered a job offer, but I declined it because of the schedule that they gave me. So I was actually offered the job, but I declined it. But I never worked as a CCA, but I know and seen what CCAs do in the office since I've been working in the office. I used to work in the office as a PSC. So let's talk about the hiring process. I'm sorry, I'm just like, I have a speech problem, so bear with me. With holiday clerk assistant, the basic is only holiday season. It's probably 4 to 8 weeks. And I was working 14 hours a day, okay? You want that bread, you better go get it, okay? My check was looking nice, but it's hard work, okay? You would dread your feet. After your feet will feel like 10 million pounds just added towards your feet, stinging. So being a holiday clerk assistant is great for just if you want to get Christmas gift, anything you want to pay off some bills and stuff like that. You would make a lot of money being a holiday clerk assistant on the holidays, okay? That's from my experience. I'm talking about my experience. Many other people may not have that experience, but my experience, I was working 14 hours a day as a holiday clerk assistant. I could have worked more, but I didn't want to because it's just overdrive. But yeah, it was not bad at all. Besides, the heavy load, you gotta get used to it. You gotta get used to it. A lot of people quit the first day because it was that hard. Okay, just lifting heavy boxes all day. Your body will get used to it. I think I lost 25 pounds within those 2 months, and I loved it. I want to do it every year because it makes you get fit. So as long as you're focused and you just do your job, you'll be okay as a holiday clerk assistant. With that, they process your application real fast, which is you apply online. There's no exam for that. That's the only thing. They don't have an exam for holiday clerk assistant, which is good. They call you up for an interview, and you get interviewed. Now you have to do drug testing. Soon as you get, the thing is, a lot of people fail the drug test. A lot. They assume that they have some other way to pass the drug test. There's no other way to pass the drug test. As long as you pass the drug test, you'll get hired, okay? That's it. So you gotta pass the drug test and your background check, and your background check. Hide nothing from being a holiday clerk assistant. You cannot hide nothing. Any criminal background, you're automatic disqualified from the job. As long as those two are cleared, you're hired for the job, and your interview goes well, and you have nothing else on your schedule, you're hired for the job. So there's no exam for a holiday clerk assistant. Anybody who just like on holidays don't have a job, or have a job that would let you work a second job, that's a perfect job for you. Anyways, next job that I've done is PSC distribution, which is working in the office and a clerk. I was both distribution and a PSC clerk, which is working PSC distribution was working at the back of the office, and PSC clerk was working at the window, which is people at the window that's giving you stamps and put using the computer to send your package towards your destination. Both jobs require changing of schedule. The back majority of times is from nighttime, like maybe 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. in the morning. Window clerk is obviously daytime from when opening of the post office that you guys go to until the post office is closed. The two difference, what I would say is I like the window clerk just because you're just sitting down and handling money, giving out stamps, handling packages, putting destination, and uh, what else? Fast delivery, priority, first class. That's it. Now at the back office, you put in the boxes in the correct route. You put the boxes in the correct route so your mail does not get lost inside. So your mail will not ever get lost because they have a machine or a scanner to scan the boxes at the correct route. The thing is, sometime you could be there all night long, 10 hours, just doing like 10 pallets of packages, because a lot of people order packages from Amazon and Priority, FedEx, and so on. So that's the only thing, especially when it's holidays. Oh my gosh. I worked as a PSC as holiday. That's two different things. Holiday clerk assistant and PSC at the back office is the same job, but the PSC works in the office and it's after the holidays you're still working. Unlike holiday clerk assistant, it's for 2 months and call it a day. So holiday season, that could be 12, 14 hours. That could be 20 pallets coming through. I'm telling you, your behind will get tired, okay, during the holidays. All other months, it's average. You still get tired, but your body get used to it. As long as your body get used to it, you'll be fine. A lot of people, I remember my first month, I was out of breath, but I loved it because I don't know why. I just like working out. So it didn't bother me. A lot of people quit within the first few days and like peace. They realize this job is not for them. It's really hard labor. It's no joke. That's why they ask you if you have any free time because the camera cut off. Yeah, so actually it's a whole lot of boxes, heavy boxes that you carry, and it's just not easy at all. And I would prefer PSC clerk wise at the window, but again, if you want to get fit and you don't mind putting boxes in the correct route, you should be okay. I got used to it and it's fine. Also, what else? Mail. Okay, PSC processing mail. That's PSC working in the plant, which is a big, like you could say, a big place, big factory that does a big processing plant that does mail. That's the only difference. PSC distribution and clerk works in the office. PSC processing mail works in the plant. But it's the same job except it's not nothing to do with clerk in the plant. It's just the same thing. It's just you work in a plant, and the PSC distribution you work in the office. Now, I did PSC processing mail clerk in the plant. I personally like the plant better than the office, but a lot of people like the office better than the plant. I prefer the plant. Just because I feel like the load is a little bit easier, but others say it's much harder. I don't know. It's different opinions. This is my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. But I like working in the plant. Now, next job is Mel Handler. Okay, I worked in Mel Handler in the plant, and it's from my experience, I feel like being a mail handler assistant. Excuse me, there's a difference between mail handler and mail handler assistant. I was a mail handler assistant, okay, which is putting boxes in the correct route in the plant. So it's similar to PSC, mail processing clerk in the plant that I was doing, because you know what, processing mail clerk in the plant sometimes have different jobs in the plant, but my job was doing the same thing as mail handler assistant, which is putting boxes in the correct route. I don't know, like sometimes they would tell you the job is totally different from the job description. So some of these jobs are similar, but other people may have different experience. But these are my experience working in the USPS jobs. So mail handler assistant, let me correct that again. MHA. That's what I was, not mail handler. Mail handler is a total different job. It's similar, but it's more advanced. Which is you put boxes in the correct route. You do other things in the plant too, but I wasn't able to do those other things just because I had an issue and I resigned immediately. But I at least got some experience as a mail handler assistant of what the job requires. With that job, like PSC distribution, PSC clerk, and window clerk, you have to take the exam. I'm adding in information. You got to take the exam, and a lot of people have been asking me with the scores. They start from this: 100 first, 99, 98, 97, 96. So if I have a score of 99 and you have a score of 100, they will call you first before they call me. So if you're 75, if your score is a 75 and I have an 80, they'll call me before you. Until they reach your score, they will call you. So don't assume that they'll never call you due to your score. They will call you based on their needs. For instance, if they call 100 to 95 and you're 94 and they have enough people, they won't call you because they already have enough people from 100 to 95. So they will deny you for the job because they have enough people for the job qualification. So you would have to reapply to another position or until they call you next time. You get what I'm saying? Or is it kind of confusing? So if okay, another example is if they need 10 people for the job and they got 10 people from 100 to a 95, those 10 people, depending if they pass every drug test perfectly, background check, interview perfectly, they will get hired first. And then if everything goes well, they don't need 94 to 90, the score from going down. Now, if one person mess up their drug test or back screen, they will call the next person, which is in the 94 score range, and go proceed that unless, someone messes up their drug test background or whatever. If you understand, because I've been getting a lot of questions about how does this score works. It's like 100 first, 99, 98, so on until I think 75 is the last, or 72. I forgot if it's 70 or 75 is the last score bunch. I'm not sure. But yeah, until they reach your score, they will call you. If you get 100, best believe they're gonna call you first. Nobody gonna skip you in line. Okay? They will call you first, they will prefer you first. Everything on that. So Mel Handler assistant is similar to processing Mel clerk because they both work in the plant and they have similar jobs, but I think Mel Handler assistant have more advantage of going throughout the plant. Mel processing clerk is either like putting boxes in correct route and some sorting out the mail on the machine, which I forgot what's that called. Also, what else? I can say. Uh, Interview wise, with all the interview, let me tell you how you could pass this interview easily. When they ask you if you're going to school or you have any issue with this job, like babysitting or another job, best believe you are not gonna get hired. You have to say you're free whenever, whatever, for you to get this job, because certainly they could call you anytime they want to. They could change your schedule anytime they want to because that's the job qualification for the post office. They want you to work basically 24/7. So just be prepared. If you want to pass this interview, you have to say you don't have no school, you don't have like no life. Basically. You don't have no life. And if you have children, um if you have children, you have to make sure that you have a babysitter, backup babysitter to the backup babysitter, because if you don't have a babysitter, that's gonna be a big issue and you might as well just resign because they need people to work there. They can't really find a lot of replacement. One thing I tell you about the post office is you have to be reliable. If you're not reliable, trust and believe that job is not for you. That job is not for you. Also, interview, what other interview, I know this video is all over the place, please excuse me, I'm trying my best. What other interview question they may ask, your past job, like common similar questions that you took on the exam, like what would you do if a customer yell at you, something similar to that. What else? Another job, CCAs. I don't know how CCAs do it, but I commend them because that job I feel like is the hardest out of all the jobs that the post office have. The reason why is they're outside, number one, rain, snow, hot, storm, whatever. They're outside. They gotta be outside, okay? They have to be outside. What else? They they have to deliver your mail no matter what. They get yelled at the supervisors from the supervisors. If you don't reach your time, you have to be on time with finishing your mail. If you guys don't know, you hear a lot in the news that CCAs just drop the mail on the floor or in the garbage. It could be really stressful. That job could be really stressful. That's the reason why I didn't accept that job, because that job is no joke. Okay, it's no joke. You walk all day long, which could be great for a lot of people, but I think CCAs is, to me, I feel like if you're single and you have time on your hands, CCA would be perfect for you. If you don't have kids, that job is perfect for you. But I'm gonna warn you, you will be tired. You will be tired, overly tired, and but the good thing is the pay is wonderful, okay? You get a lot of overtime. The pay, I seen my coworkers who their paycheck be off the chain, okay? And I'm like, man, let me change that position. But CCAs do a lot of overtime, and the pay is wonderful, okay? That I could say with the CCAs. Okay, CCAs, you guys are special because after you pass the interview, the background, the drug testing, you guys must pass the driving truck test, CDL test. If you don't pass, if you fail the test, that's an automatic termination for you guys. Okay, you have to pass the driving test. If you don't pass the driving test, you're fired, because that's a qualification for you to get the job. And plus, you can't have anything on your driving record that could mess you up for the CCA job. Like if you have an accident 2 years ago, best believe just don't apply. Don't apply. They don't want no accidents on your driving record. I think going back to 5 years, I don't know up to 10 years, but going back to 5 years, they don't want no accidents on your driving record. Now, if you're a new driver license, if you just got your driver license, I think they require you to have your license for a year or two before you could take the exam. So that again, you have to get information at the interview about that, because they won't let you drive the vehicle unless you have 1 year or 2 years experience on your driver license. Okay. What else I could say? Plus, with CCAs, you have to take training for a week or two, and pass the driving test. Again, you need to pass the, you need, not no or if, you need to pass the driving test for you to start working as a CCA. If you don't, automatic termination for you. What else with CCAs? CCAs, that job is hard. Like I said, I declined my offer because I know how hard it is from experience of working as a PSC, Mel Clerk, PSC, I can't even say distribution. I'm sorry, I have speech problems, okay? Also, and Mel Handler assistant, from seeing, because you work together, from seeing how CCAs get treated and so on, I declined the offer. So a lot of people, CCAs would work for them, but for me, since I have kids, it's not gonna work for me. You do a lot of overtime. Like I said, you could work 12 to 14 hours. You could walk all day long. It could be raining, storm, snow, whatever. That's why I give props to CCAs, because I don't know how they do it, but I cannot do that job. I cannot do that job. So, with CCAs, the only difference between the other three that I mentioned, the PSC, MHA, is you do 2 weeks training and you have to pass the driving test. That's the only difference. And once you're in, you're good. Okay. Once you're in, you're good. But again, another thing I have to add is when you become a CCA, you have to deliver your mail on time. If you don't, your manager is gonna have a problem with you. Your supervisor is gonna have a problem with you. You gotta be careful, because if they don't see you on top of your game with delivering mail, they will terminate you right there and then. Okay, just be careful with that. You have to deliver the mail on time. If they give you a whole lot, you gotta deliver it on time, and it's not easy. You won't have time to eat. You won't have time to piss. You won't have time to do anything. That's the sad part about it. From CCAs that I've talked to, that's what they tell me. So, and then being a CCA will get you into more of a permanent position, because a lot of people, I think how many is the percentage? Like 45 to 60% of CCAs drop out within 3 months. That's why they give you a 3 months probation period to see how many will stay and how many will go. That's a high percentage because a lot of people do quit because it's not an easy job. I could tell you it's not an easy job at all. So yeah, I just commend CCAs because that job is hard. So that's all from the hiring process. There's other jobs, but I don't really know of, like cleaning and TTOs. I don't really know those. So please subscribe to my channel. Like, comment. If you want to ask me more questions, you could go ahead and bye.